Alright YouTube, so we are back of course to talk about some Final Fantasy VII Remake, and what we have today is just a bit of a discussion video. Sony revealed what seems to be maybe a surprise state of play, and why I say that is because I've personally not seen a damn thing about there being a state of play coming up in February. We've also looked at and talked about, where we could see information for Remake in terms of February outside of the concert, and again, nobody's ever mentioned state of play to me, and also the fact that the state of play was revealed and announced today, like 2 days before it's supposed to happen. And also the blog that they link to is from today as well. So it definitely seems like it just kind of came out of nowhere. And also being that I'm a fairly newer PS4 player, I've only had a PS4 for about a year or so now, I just have no idea how often they do these state of plays. The one they did in 2019 that gave us like that first real teaser trailer for Remake and started to get the ball rolling on, information and news for Remake happened in like May of 2019. So and we're obviously in February now, so I just don't know when and where they do these. Anyways, on to the goddamn point of the video. With the announcement of another state of play happening in just a couple of days, obviously there are people out there asking, will Remake be there? And for a bit of clarification before we even hop into it, when we talk about stuff like this, people assume that we're specifically discussing Remake Part 2, and that's not necessarily the case. Do we want that? Sure. Would we love for them to talk about Part 2? Sure. But we're talking about the game being there in any capacity, even if that's just announcing the ports of the game to PC, PS5. And despite what other people seem to think, I don't believe it's like impossible for them to talk about Part 2 anytime they want to. There's no reason they can't reveal or discuss Part 2 at any point throughout this year and just say, we're not really going to show or talk about it until 2022. Similar to what they did with Final Fantasy 16. They gave us a trailer last year and even said, we're not really talking about this until 2021. Now, as for the event itself, we're just going to read over the blog post really quickly. Time for another State of Play. This Thursday, a State of Play broadcast will serve up new updates and deep dives for 10 games coming to PS4 and PS5, including new game announcements and updates on some of the third-party and indie titles you last saw in June's PS5 showcase. The show is clocking in at 30 minutes or so, give or take. Can't wait to hear what you think, and a quick note, there won't be PlayStation hardware or business-focused updates in this show. We're focusing on great games set to come out in the months ahead. Be sure to tune in on Thursday, February 25th at 2 p.m. Pacific Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 p.m. GMT, and you can watch it live on Twitch and YouTube. See you Thursday. Now, I've seen some people discuss that Final Fantasy 16 could be at this event, of course, and that is also a possibility. Something that did stick out to me, though, is that blog post saying that they're going to talk about stuff that was shown at the June PS5 showcase last year, and Final Fantasy 16 was like the September one. Clearly, that does not rule out the possibility of it being there, but I'm just saying, it's interesting that they specified a specific PS5 event. Now, as for Remake being there in any sort of capacity, is it possible? Sure. We had that rumor for a while that there's the PS5 port that's already supposed to be announced a long time ago, just never got revealed. We also had Knob Trover on Reset Era thinking that something was going to be revealed for Remake within February. Of course, that has yet to happen, and we still have only a couple days left, so seemingly this state of play, if they're going to reveal something for Remake within February, seems to be the last place that they can. Now, to be clear here, I don't want to hype up this event too much. We did that with the orchestra event, and we all got kind of burned on that. And it's not really Square Enix's fault, right? They were just wanting to hold the concert. We were the ones hyping it up for information. It didn't happen. It sucked. And I'm not a fan of doing these videos too often. A couple years back, whenever there wasn't really any information, long before 2019, I used to do videos all the time, like, will Remake be at this event? And this one's a bit different, though, because we know that there's rumors out there of possible reveals within February, at least according to insiders. And also, State of Play is an event where they've shown things in the past. And I've still seen some people out there that seem to think that it's still too early for either Part 2 information or just port information, which I think is kind of crazy because the exclusivity is ending for Remake in like a month and a half. And I think, end of February, sometime within March, is a good time to announce the game coming to other platforms so people can prepare to buy it on those platforms, whether that is next-gen, current-gen, PC, whatever. And if the game is getting a PS5 port, you want to give people the time to get that money together because they got to buy a brand new console and then the game itself. That's just my thoughts on it, though. I don't think it's crazy or insane for them to announce the port about a month or so before the exclusivity ends. That just makes the most sense to me. At the very least, I do think the event's worth tuning into. I'm definitely going to watch it. It's only 30 minutes or so, and it's not always just about Remake. There could be other badass games revealed and updates on other games that we know are out there, and there could be more stuff for 16 as well. My hype's way more in check right now than it was for, the orchestra event. I had so much stock in that concert, just giving us something, and then it just was nothing. I'm just so defeated over the last couple weeks. Again, not Square Enix's fault. That's entirely on us. So if nothing that we're really interested here with the channel happens at the State of Play, not really a big deal. So of course, to pass up to you guys in the comment section. So when it comes to the State of Play, what do you expect to be there? For one, I didn't watch the June PS5 event, so I don't even know what games were shown there. I only watched the one that gave us Final Fantasy 16. By the way, dudes, that is the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys aren't wants to update more Final Fantasy VII Remake content. Turn on my notifications. Follow me on Twitter, dashingdavidYT, and my Discord. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane. We in here like Logain, or leave it like Cobain.